ski racing.
All right.
It was fun.
Coming up next, we will talk some SFU men's ice hockey. There is a huge tournament coming up. It's called the Great Northwest Showcase, and it will feature some big-time participants. We're talking the University of North Dakota. Have we found out what they are yet? They're not the Fighting Sioux. Princeton University Tigers are coming to town. UBC's playing in it as well as SFU. This is going to be a great tournament, and we will get into it next with the head coach from SFU.
I think North Dakota is still the Sioux.
All right.
From what I can see, though they're not using the name a whole lot in their website.
Well, we'll get to the bottom of it next. Mark Coletta joins us to set this tournament up that takes place at Bill Copeland Sports Center on January 3rd and 4th.
Team 1040.
210, you've got it on the Team Radio Network. There is a big-time hockey tournament coming to this city. It is the Great Northwest Showcase. And there's going to be some great hockey being played at the Bill Copeland Sports Center in Burnaby, January 3rd and 4th. Simon Fraser University, UBC in the tournament. Princeton University Tigers, as well as the University of North Dakota Sioux. The Fighting Sioux, I guess, are no longer existent. But, man, you talk about some powerhouse programs. You look at North Dakota, Bernsey, their hockey program. I mean, right now, I believe there's over a dozen NHLers that have played at North Dakota.
Oh, I'm sure there's.
TJ Oshie, right now.
Oh, right now.
Playing.
Yeah,
Zach
okay.
Parise, TJ Oshie,
Wow.
Jonathan Tays, Travis Zajac. I mean, it's a pretty good list. Matt Green. But then if you look at all time, what they have done in terms of North Dakota, you're talking some great players. Eddie Belfour played there. Murray Barron used to play here in Vancouver. Good friend of ours. Mike Commodore is a former Fighting Sioux. Speaking of another guy, Gary Volk will be part of this great Northwest Showcase. I mean, there's so many great players out of North Dakota. Princeton, of course, has put some NHLers in as well. And Mark Coletta joining us now. He is from Simon Fraser University, the head coach of their hockey program there. Mark, welcome to the program. How are you doing tonight?
Very well. Thank you for having me.
Nice to have you on board. First off, how excited are you to have the Great Northwest Showcase, showcase some hockey here in the Lower Mainland? Well,
I think it's very exciting for us as a team and as a group of guys that saw this vision a couple of years ago. Last year we kicked it off with the first installment of it and had some good competition, albeit American club hockey teams in Oklahoma and Arizona State. But we knew we had to ramp up the level a bit, and one thing led to another with Coach Hackstall over at North Dakota, and here we are. So the vision has come true.
And what does this say about hockey at SFU that, not a place that, and Canadian college hockey has never had a real high profile. Canadian kids go to schools like North Dakota, like Princeton if they can get in. I imagine the goal with something like this is bringing attention and really trying to build the hockey program at SFU.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, you try to build your program, you try to build your brand. We're trying to prove ourselves and see that we can compete at that level right now with all due respect to I would say largely less budget than North Dakota and Princeton. But, I think the 200 kids from the BCHL that go over there, I think there's 500 Canadians that play in the NCAA. I think there's a good breeding ground here of Canadian junior hockey players that go over there and play. And, we just want to try and see if we can keep them here and put a competitive team on the ice. And, I think the NCAA now is 30-something% of NHLPA. So the hockey's really good. There's no doubt in my mind that it's comparable, with the top echelon teams of the NCAA, that they're comparable with the top WHL teams.
What does this do for your recruiting? And again, when you're playing teams like North Dakota, Princeton, showing that you can be competitive with them in this type of environment, I imagine in terms of recruiting, this is huge, Mark.
Well, yeah, we play in a league called the BCIHL, which is predominantly BC teams, and we have to try to convince kids to stay local, maybe not go Division III, which is sometimes a little more expensive, and which is good hockey as well. maybe convince some of them not to go to a CIS program and stay local in BC as well. So having these guys on our schedule, North Dakota and Princeton, and we went out to Sacred Heart and Holy Cross and played 2 Division I teams already earlier in the year. Having those games on our schedule only helps us entice some of these kids that might go somewhere else and say, well, wait, maybe I'll stay local, and SFU's got a good program. They're playing these quality teams, and we're very competitive in our own league as well. So there's a couple factors there.
Mark, what's the biggest hindrance or obstacle that Canadian university teams have to overcome?
In the sense of competing against those NCAA
competing,
Division I teams?
whether it's competing against NCAA for recruits, whether it's getting support. What do you see as probably like the biggest obstacle you have as a head coach?
I think that whole allure of being in that atmosphere of a college game, whether it's football, basketball, hockey, soccer. I mean, I was fortunate enough to play at Plattsburgh State, a small Division III school, but we had 2,500 fans every game. We went to the mall in that little town in Plattsburgh, and people know who we were. I think with the American college atmosphere at the NCAA level, especially those big schools, you're basically a professional athlete in those towns, and the students love you, and the town loves you. And I don't know if we mimic that well out here in Canada, and that could be possibly due to the population that we're definitely less, and our schools are a little less, I would say, athletic, in that sense with the big TV deals and all that stuff that goes along with it.
All right, tell us a little bit more about the logistics of this tournament that will take place at Bill Copeland in early January. Well,
we got January 3rd and 4th. We'll go 4 o'clock SFU Princeton. We'll go 7 o'clock North Dakota UBC on the Friday night. On the Saturday, the Canadian teams, us and UBC, just rotate. So we'll go 4 o'clock with UBC Princeton, 7 o'clock with SFU North Dakota on Saturday night. Gary Volk will drop the puck, so we should have some hopefully good crowds. I think it's long overdue to see this kind of hockey. These are quality teams. These are the best of the best. I mean, North Dakota, I don't have to say it. It's the Alabama football. I would say, it's like Duke or North Carolina in basketball. So these are big-time teams. I think people in the community should come out and watch it and see what we're having there.
Mark, if people want more info, do you have a website that's up?
Yeah, you can either go to www.sfuhockey.com, which is our website, or you go to greatnorthwestshowcase.com, and you can get tickets there.
Mark, thanks for joining us today, and good luck with the tournament.
Thank you, guys. Merry Christmas.
There you go. Merry Christmas to you, too. That is Mark Coletta. He's the head coach of Simon Fraser University's hockey team, the Great Northwest Showcase, taking place January 3rd and 4th at the Bill Copeland Sports Center in Burnaby, North Dakota, the Sioux. Princeton Tigers, UBC, and SFU all participating in this tournament. We were rattling off some of the North Dakota alumni, which is a long and storied list. By the way, Dixon Ward, another former Canuck, I should have threw in the mix, up in Kelowna now. Dixie's a former North Dakota Fighting Sioux, as is Gary Volk, who'll be part of the proceedings. But Princeton, what did Princeton? I always forget about this. George Peros.
Yeah.
You think George Peros, right? NHL tough guy, quote, enforcer, went to Princeton. Do you know how smart you got to be to get into Princeton?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Like you.
I didn't go there.
Yeah, neither did I. Also, you know who went to Princeton? Bill Cowher's son-in-law.
Oh, yeah.
Kevin Westgarth of the Carolina Hurricanes, another guy who went into Princeton.
I was just looking that up. There are some guys, Princeton's put some guys out. Not like North Dakota though. Like Coach made a good connection there. North Dakota, kind of like the Alabama of college hockey. They're they pump them out, man.
You look at the players that they've put out. I would say probably the most prolific university in terms of NHL alumni, easily.
Yeah, I mean, there's some other ones too. Michigan. A lot of guys from Michigan. Don't let Brendan Morrison here.
I'd still go with North Dakota.
Yeah. Well, maybe there's a job for us in a break. We can
do a little research.
And compare.